And good afternoon, everybody. I know not exactly a planned live stream, but I had originally said that I may be coming on live because we got snowed in and didn't get snow, but you know what? I know some people were expecting it, so here we are. So let's have a little bit of fun. So, how are you all doing today? I know we're going to have some more people coming on in and joining as we go along, but we had initially been told last Monday or so that we had this mammoth snowstorm coming in, that it was going to slowly roll in, and we were expecting anywhere from 4 to 12 inches. Now, where I live, to get 2 or 3 inches is a pretty good amount of snow. We typically will get like 1 or 2. And so as we were watching this and we're expecting this big snowstorm to kick us in and keep us inside for a few days, and then gradually it changes and tracks, and this is what happens in Missouri. And it ends up being just this little portion, northern Arkansas, that's getting 1 to 3 inches, and the rest of our stuff is nothing. So it's actually a beautiful day outside. I was almost tempted to go to Silver Dollar City. John Vidal, I will definitely be thinking of you with college finals. We got a couple of our kids at church who are doing finals as well. I don't miss the days of college finals, not a bit. So hello to Allison and Caitlin and Seven and Up and Heather and Thomas and Joseph. It's good to see all of you. Want to give you a little bit of a heads up on what's coming up. I know this last week on the channel has been a little bit of a slow one. In fact, actually, I think it's the first week I had only one video going back to probably like a year ago or something. And even that one video was a little late. But I do have some stuff coming back up this next week. It's going to be a little bit more of a busy week. I have a reaction to the new Avengers 4 trailer coming up. I actually have a reaction to the Kim Possible live-action movie that they are going to be doing. So we are going to be... So you'll get to see those this week. I've got a top 5 favorite parks I've been to for the holidays. And then I'm hoping things come well. I'm hoping that I will finally have my Rhino Rally recreation ride-through coming up for you this week. But it's all finally coming together, so excited about that. Construction has started at Silver Dollar City, and I'm hoping to be out hopefully Thursday. We'll see what happens this week, but I want to get out there this week and get a look. So... see our reviews. Are there really cats at Disney World that eat mice? Actually, you are thinking of Disneyland. Disneyland is the park that has all of the cats that they're feral cats. They do live there. They come out at night. They do take care of the rodent problem. And when Walt was building the park and they realized they had this, they were kind of like, well, you know what? Let's keep them. I have never heard of them at Walt Disney World, never saw them at Walt Disney World, so I don't think that they are actually at Disney World. But they are definitely at Disneyland in California. They do help take care of them there, and they like having them around to keep track of the rodents. So, I hope all of you guys are done with your Christmas shopping. I'm like halfway through, and then like next week when we get paid, it's going to be mad rush to kind of get everything finished up. Mariah, keep working on that channel. That's awesome to hear. John, Kim Possible. We actually used to really enjoy watching Kim Possible as a family. My kids, when they were younger, really enjoyed the show, and it was actually entertaining enough for us that we all watched it. So it'll be interesting. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to give away the video. I want to make sure that you watch it because I like having people watch them. So have I ever worked with guests with guide dogs? And Razor Fanboy, I do see your question. I'll come back. Anybody who works at the theme park is going to work with guests with guide dogs because they are a standard part of the park. Anytime you have a guest come in who needs an assistant dog, you're going to be dealing with them one way or the other. I dealt with them on the train at Silver Dollar City, dealt with them as a photographer at Walt Disney World, dealt with them on Rhino Rally. And actually, Rhino Rally at Busch Gardens, we did not allow them to ride because of the type of ride. There was no way to secure them in it. But we definitely, yes, assistant dogs are fantastic. A well-trained assistant dog is not a problem and isn't going to cause any issues at all. The problem you get is people who buy the little capes for them for a dog that is not trained at all and is not an assistant dog, but they want to bring their pet in the park. And that's where you've had some issues. But, yeah, assistant dogs are great. What is my opinion on the upcoming Disney World rides? From Razor Fanboy. Which ones? There's a bunch. Star Wars is going to be insane. We'll see how that all works out. I will actually be at Disney World at the end of July, and so we'll kind of see where it is there. And then Disneyland in October. So hopefully, between the two, I should get at least one of them in. But there's all sorts of stuff coming up. They're finally updating Epcot, and I've talked about a bunch of those in other videos, so all sorts of stuff coming on. So some I'm very much excited about, some I'm kind of like, eh. So which one do you want to know about? Let's see. Crash Overdrive. What was my favorite park from working the parks? I honestly cannot pick one. I get this question a bunch, and the truth is the jobs that I did were different enough that it's like asking, what is your favorite form of sugar? I like sugar. It all works the same. Even though it tastes a little bit different. Honestly, I really enjoyed all of my jobs at the parks. Now, Disney World, as far as working as a photographer goes, I actually liked working at Magic Kingdom a little bit better than the others. Although I really loved roving around the World Showcase at Epcot. I got to kind of wander everywhere. So I did have a great time. I only worked Animal Kingdom a couple times. I didn't like resorts for the most part. But if I had to pick one Disney park to work at, it was probably Magic Kingdom, just because it had the wow factor for the guests. When they walk in, so that was really cool. But let's see here. Overall, do I prefer Disneyland or Disney World? I grew up going to Disneyland. And we only went every 4 or 5 years or so. So Disneyland was kind of home for me. Disney World is really a different beast completely, because Disney World is 4 parks versus 2 in California. Disneyland is the park that Walt Disney built. It has more in it than Magic Kingdom. It's not as big, but there's more there. There's like 10 more rides than Magic Kingdom does. And it has Walt's hands all over it. It is more intimate. I like Disneyland. It is the original, and it is Walt's park. So, honestly, of all of them, it is the one that wins. I actually like Disneyland Paris a little better than Magic Kingdom, but I wouldn't mind seeing a couple more rides and attractions come into Disneyland Paris. I do think it needs a little bit more to it, but it's a gorgeous park. It may be the prettiest of the Disney parks I've been to. So, but yes, you definitely want to go at least once. Just keep in mind, when you say Disney World is 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, 2 major golf courses, 26 resort hotels, a huge shopping area. That's Disney World. Magic Kingdom is a park at Disney World. Please don't be like the dumb guests that stand in Epcot and go, how do I go to Disney World? You're in it. So, oh, great. Who let the old man on the internet again? Okay, look, kid. You just wait till February when I get you in my hands, and I'm going to... By the way, for those of you who don't know, Aaron Chanica, who said that, is a good friend of mine, so he can pick on me, and I'll just give him a good headlock and a noogie when I see him. So, let's see. Enjoyed the show, just not sure about the live-action movie. Allison, that's really kind of my thought when it comes to Kim Possible. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted to watch the trailer and say, okay, is this going to be good? Is this going to be bad? Is it going to be horrible like I think it could be? So watch the reaction video come up probably Wednesday for the Kim Possible reaction. I'll have the Avengers reaction on Monday. And then you'll be able to kind of get a look and see what I'm thinking with it, too. Let's see. Amanda Ally, may I ask how the pay was when I worked at Disney? It greatly depended upon what job you did. I worked as a photographer. We got paid more than most of the regular cast members because at the time we were considered administration and technical. So we got a couple dollars an hour more. I was making, I don't know if Disney really wants me to say what I was making, but it was enough years ago. I was making right around $10 an hour at the time. So a little bit more than what most of the cast members made. Disney has almost always started their cast members, though, at above the minimum wage. Not a whole lot. Most of them start right around $7.80 to $8 an hour, and minimum wage was like at $7.50. So it's not a great paying job, but it's a theme park. It is an unskilled, untrained, no education required job. all of those are going to be low paying regardless. So you have to expect that. If you go to McDonald's, you can't be expecting to get paid like you have a college degree. It's the same kind of thing. And you're going to find that at any theme park, whether it is Disney, Universal, Six Flags, Cedar Fair, Legoland, any of them. They're all going to be low paying minimum wage shops. So what is my opinion of the rumor that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is coming to Toontown at Disneyland? Actually, I think it would be a great addition there, and they're not going to remove anything for it, which is what I wish they had done at Hollywood Studios where they're putting it. It actually looks like it's going to be a fun ride, and it will fit perfectly in Toontown at Disneyland. So, great addition. Just wish that had been more like what they had done at down in Florida. So, don't like the loss of Great Movie Ride. But I do think that it should be a good ride there. Look for that one to get confirmed, because from what I have picking up a little bit, that one looks like it's probably a pretty good likelihood. They just haven't broken ground. They want to finish up Star Wars before they start announcing new stuff there. So, Gailey Kwong, do I use the Disney Park fuel rod battery system? No, I do not. And I can show you why. See, Disney parks have the fuel rods. You can spend $35, get a fuel rod, drop it into the machine, get it back. I spent $25 on my Anchor rechargeable that goes with me anywhere. This thing will charge my phone from 0 to dropping it on the floor 5 times. It's cost me less than fuel rod, and recharges more often, and it goes anywhere and everywhere with me. So, no, I did not spend the money on the fuel rod. Fuel rod is not a bad system, but if you go down to Walmart or Target or whatever, you can buy these for less. Excuse me. Bang, bang. And it'll charge my phone from nothing to full in about an hour or so. So, it is a wonderful little system. But yes, if you're going to be traveling with your cell phone and stuff, you need a recharger, I'd encourage you to buy something like this. But you can also spend the $35 at Disney, and then you get the fuel rod and drop it into the machine after you used it and get a new one that's charged up. I just like having my own, not having to worry about other people. So, let's see if I can catch up here. Woo, you guys are throwing all sorts of questions. This is pretty cool. Let's see. Don't like any roller coasters. Make you scared. You'll get over it, Mariah. Don't worry. Too slow to catch me, Aaron. I might be slow, but I'm smarter than you. Let's see. What's my thoughts on the Flight of Passage? Josh Ingram, you need to go back and you need to watch my video from our visit to Animal Kingdom last month. And just go back to the channel and do a quick search on my channel for Animal Kingdom, and it'll pop up, and you'll get a very good idea of what I think of Flight of Passage, as well as my family's first reactions. So, wanted to hear about the Guardians and Tron coasters. Tron is going to be awesome. I'm excited for the Tron ride coming into Magic Kingdom. I think that's going to be a great fit. It's going to help fill in kind of a dead area in the park, so that will be wonderful. Guardians of the Galaxy, I have a lot of mixed feelings about. It's going to be an awesome ride. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic experience. I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot. I don't think it fits the theme. I don't think it fits in Future World. It's not the park kind of thing. It's a fantastic ride, but it should have gone somewhere else, not Epcot. That's kind of my deals with that. So, let's see. Matthew, no. Matthew, behave yourself. Let's see. Am I going to the Star Wars Hotel when it opens? From Josh Ingram. More than likely not. From what I am reading, that Star Wars Hotel is only going to have like 80 rooms, which means mucho bucks and very expensive, and I can't afford stuff like that. Would I like to? Absolutely. But I can pretty much guarantee you that one is not going to be in my budget. Animal Kingdom Lodge on our recent trip was not in our budget. And if we had not had one of my patrons cover that for us and treat us, there's no way it would have happened. And I fully expect the Star Wars Hotel to cost a lot more than Animal Kingdom Lodge. Let's see. How did I get hired? I've got 2 different videos that actually talk about how I got hired. And it's easier to refer you to those rather than do the whole 15-minute long spiel. I answered want ads, applied through that, and then went through the interview process. It's just like getting any other job for the most part. Just realize that when you are interviewing with Disney, from the moment you step on property, you are on camera, and they are watching you to see if you are going to be a good cast member. Same thing if you're doing a video interview with them over the internet. They're watching everything you do to see what kind of cast member you're going to be. But yeah, check those out. Again, go to my channel main page and just look for how I got hired, how I got a job, and I'll let you know that. Let's see. With favorite perk. Oh, okay. Favorite benefit. Ooh. Crash Overdrive, there was a whole bunch of different benefits. I've actually done a couple videos about the perks and benefits of working at the parks. At Silver Dollar City, one of my favorites was the fact that we got to go to a lot of the local theaters and see the shows free. I missed that one probably the most. That was a fantastic perk to just be able to explore and experience and see so much in Branson and not have to pay for it. With Disney, again, being able to visit the parks anytime, but I have an annual pass now, so I can kind of do that. The discounts were nice. For Disney, probably shopping at the Cast Connection, which is the cast member only store that's back behind Magic Kingdom. They have a lot of discount merchandise, closeout things. You can buy damaged goods that they wouldn't sell to the guests. Lost and found items that are never claimed, depending upon what they are. They will sell a lot of those to cast members. All my dishes here that we eat off of are actually all Disney dishes. The wreath that is on my door for Christmas is actually an old Blizzard Beach wreath. And so we've got a number of things from Disney that I bought at the cast stores that were basically used from the parks and not using them anymore. So that's things that I miss like that. Really, really enjoyed those kinds of things. So, let's see here. Have I seen Ralph Breaks the Internet yet? No. We were going to go last Tuesday. I really wanted to go. My daughter had the day off, and my son and my wife went, oh, we're tired. So I'm going to see it this Tuesday, whether any of them want to go or not. I will probably be my daughter and I seeing it, and then I'll see if my son and wife join me. But I'm planning on seeing it this Tuesday. So I am skipping a couple of these jokes that some of you guys are throwing out there. Yes, I get the reference. Let's see. When and how did I realize I wanted to work at theme parks? From Caitlin Gilman. I actually, back when I was a kid, we started going to theme parks when I was about 6 years old and just loved them and always enjoyed them. Can't really say I thought necessarily about working at them until I was in my 20s. And when I had kids and my kids were young, I was a stay-at-home dad. And so I started getting really into theme parks as a hobby at that point, just to kind of de-stress me from dealing with kids that are 15 months apart. When you got two kids at the same time in diapers, it'll exhaust you. And it was at that point I kind of started thinking about, it's like, wow, wouldn't this be just a nice escape for a little while? But can't say I really thought seriously about it until I was living in Florida. My kids were in third and fourth grade at the time, and I was teaching full-time, and rough job, and it was just, I need something to de-stress a little bit. And that's where I picked up the job at Busch Gardens. It's like, what can I do one day a week that'll just let me kind of unwind? And it worked out perfectly. And so it kind of built from there. So I guess you would kind of say in my mid to late 20s would be when I first started thinking about it. So, did I ever do a tour of the castle at Walt Disney World? I have worked in every part of that castle at Walt Disney World. They don't actually have tours of the castle. They have a restaurant in the middle of it, and then there's a stairway and an elevator that goes down into the basement where the utilidors are, and that's where we would print the pictures. And so we would walk up and down those stairs and deliver pictures. But I have seen most of the castle. I have not seen the suite that they occasionally give out. I have not seen that personally, but TPC, have I ever been to the UK? The only place in Europe I have been is France, right around Paris. And that was completely unexpected last March. I have not been to any other areas in Europe, although I would love to. I have been to Israel. I have been to Hong Kong and Bangkok, Thailand years and years ago. But and then South America, I've been down in Costa Rica and Colombia and in Mexico. But no, have not been to Europe at all. So Let's see. About to leave to go to SDC. Have fun, Darth Yoda. From what I have heard, the construction is in full swing. There are walls all the way around where Lost River used to be, and they've actually torn down most of it. But it should be a good day. A lot of people got scared off by the rumors of snow, and so your crowd shouldn't be too bad. That and the cold to help a little bit. Have fun out there. I'm jealous. I want to go. Let's see. Thinking of seeing Wreck-It Ralph 2 maybe tomorrow. No spoilers. Yeah, not going to get any from me. Oh, I have heard that they encountered this thing called the internet, but what am I most looking forward to in my upcoming trip? Ooh, that's a good question, Jenny. Oop, I almost said your name right. There's actually a few things that we're going to be doing on this trip in February that I have not done before. One of the things that my daughter and I are going to do is we're going to do a Keys to the Kingdom tour, which will be fun for me. It is the tour. You can get into the park an hour before it opens and start the tour. You actually go down into the utilidors as part of the tour. They do take guests down in there now. And my daughter has never seen them, so it will be fun to let her see them. They don't let you take pictures, so sorry, you won't be able to see that. I might get a picture of the door coming in or out, and I think that's about all you're allowed to do. But we are definitely looking forward to doing that. And so that's probably the newest highlight. I just enjoy being in the parks. We'll have the meet and spreet. Boo, what is a, never mind. Don't answer that question. We will have a meet and greet on Saturday, February 23rd at Disney Springs. And so I love getting together with people who watch the videos and hearing from them. And then I'm actually working that evening on doing a get-together with a whole bunch of other former and current PhotoPass photographers and swapping stories. And if all goes well, I'll be able to tape some of that and share that with everybody, because I've had a great time talking with other photographers. So I'm really hoping that can come together. And then I'm kind of hoping that things will work out where I can do a couple other collabs. I'm talking with Jennifer Oakes about doing a collab with her during the trip, and maybe running into a couple other YouTubers. I've got a couple that I've been back and forth a little bit, so we will see what happens. So there's a lot that may or may not happen with that trip. We'll also be heading over to Universal for a day as well. So 7 and up. Do I still have my Disneyland Paris annual pass? You bet I do. I don't throw anything away. I know I'm not going to use it again. Trying to remember, did I put it up here? I have stashes of cards everywhere. Woo. I have all sorts of things people sent me, like snow globe from Holland too. But I'm trying to remember. I set it aside a little bit ago. Let's see. Six Flags passes from last year. Dollywood pass. Marriott room keys. Escape code cards. Nope, I probably filed it already. But yes, I do have it. I just don't carry it with me because I don't want to lose it. So, let's see. Behind the scenes tours. Yeah, Julia Wilkie. Walt Disney World has a couple behind the scenes tours. The Keys to the Kingdom will take you behind the scenes at Magic Kingdom. There is also the train house tour that they do early in the morning. And you can go into the actual roundhouse where they work on the monorails and the trains and get into all that ahead of time too. That's the other real big behind the scenes tour that they offer to guests. So those are really good to check out. I've had a lot of friends that have done the train tour and really raved about it. I just haven't been able to do that yet. Let's see. Does Disney World make it snow in all the parks or just the Magic Kingdom? That's good. Good question. They only make it snow on Main Street during the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Only time you're going to see it snow on Main Street. You will not see it the rest of the time. They used to make it snow at Hollywood Studios back when they had the Osborne Spectacle of Dancing Lights, and they would make it snow during that. But other than that, and it does snow during the Frozen Sing-Along show. Those are the only places that I am aware of that it snows. They might do it in other spots, but that's it. Connor Louie, what do I think about the Phantom Manor closure and refurb? I can't say. It was closed when I was there in February, March, and I didn't get to see it. So from what I've heard, it's coming along, but I can't tell you what's going to be like compared to the old because I didn't ever get to see the old either. From what I've heard, they're putting a lot into it, and so it should be interesting. We'll have to find out. But Kathy Goodman, that's actually answering your question as well about why they closed the Haunted Mansion. They are doing a major refurbishment. When I was there, they actually had all the sidewalks and everything in front all torn up. But they are completely overhauling it. They're changing some of the stuff inside. And it's going to be interesting to see what all they do change. Again, I can't say I'm going to know the difference between the old and the new because I never got to experience the old. But what I have read is there are some people very excited about it and some people very scared about it. It's hard for me to say because I don't have any experience one way or the other on that one. So I'm sorry. Will I have a meet and greet at Silver Dollar City come March? Probably. I do not know days yet. Unfortunately, I'm not one of these guys that typically plans 5 and 6 months ahead of time. Especially because pastoring a church, my schedule is constantly changing at the last minute. And I can sit there and say, yes, I will be here, and then something will happen, and it doesn't happen. That's part of kind of what happened with why I only had one video this last week. It was just a crazy week. I do plan on more meet and greets. I will have at least a couple next year at Silver Dollar City. I just don't know exactly when. So, but keep an eye on the Facebook page. All my meet and greets and things like that, I try to make events on Facebook. So if you go to the SirWillow fan page and look for the events, and it will tell you when they are, and then as I have locations and things like that, I will get those posted as well. So make sure you check that out. That's the best way to find out about that. Let me see. Woo, I just missed a whole bunch of stuff here. Somebody else likes Phineas and Ferb. My son loved Phineas and Ferb. Oh, let's see. Why did I choose to go to YouTube after your theme park jobs? That's actually a long story, Pilot Gamer. You can blame my son, and I'm trying to remember. I think I did a video about this. I've mentioned it a few times in various videos and stuff. Basically, I'm one of those that when I tell a story, I tend to tell the same story over and over again. And my family got, kind of tired of hearing the same kinds of things. My son was actually making money on a YouTube channel, and so it was kind of this half-joking, hey, why don't you just tell your stories to YouTube? And then maybe other people who are actually interested can hear it, and we don't have to hear it anymore. And that was really kind of the impetus, like, well, why not? My son makes a couple $100 a month. If I can make 100, that would be really cool. And so that was really kind of why we started and went after it. So that was the foundation of the channel, and it has just kind of grown from there. So, a Sprite is a baby Sprite. That's a good explanation, Jenny. I like that. So, let's see. I'm wearing a hoodie. Is it cold in Florida? I have no idea. I live in Missouri. There are a number of people who seem to think because I do Disney videos that I live in Florida. I do not. I live in Springfield, Missouri. Or actually, I'm about 45 minutes out of Springfield, which is why I only get to Disney World a couple times a year, and why I didn't go to Disney World for over 7 years. So, current temperature right now outside is, I think, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like -1 Celsius. So is it cold in Missouri? Yes. Florida, I don't have any clue right now. We're supposed to be down to 17 degrees tonight, which I believe is something like -5 or 6 Celsius, something like that. So, let's see. A family member of mine is going to start meeting characters with me soon, but she's not into making small talk. Do I have any advice to make the interaction better for her? Okay, if she's not into making small talk, try an autograph book. Just for something fun to do, a way to remember. And yes, adults can get autographs. It's okay. My daughter has her book. I have my book. It will give her something as a point of contact to be able to start a conversation. And that can make it a little more fun for her that way. Also, tell her to think of a question she would like to ask each character as far as their story goes, or something fun, or, hey, if you were that character, what would you want to know, or something like that. Just to make it more fun, or if you need to, if you're with her, do the small talk for her and get her involved that way. But have fun. That's the biggest thing, is come up with something entertaining. I enjoy teasing the villains. That makes a lot of fun. Like I asked Kylo Ren why he can't seem to defeat anybody in a fight who knows what they're doing. He can't even defeat somebody in a fight who doesn't know what they're doing. It got a real good glare from him. So it makes it a lot of fun that way. Just come up with something fun to say and then kind of see where it goes from there. I'd say 7-hour tour is so awesome. Yeah, Kathy Goodman, I looked at the 7-hour behind the scenes tour, which it actually, Disney World has this other tour besides Keys to the Kingdom that takes you to a couple different parks. And you start off in Magic Kingdom, and then I believe you hop in vans, and Kathy can correct me on this, and then head over, I think it's to Epcot, and you see behind the scenes in several different spots. For me, it was outside of my budget, because it is an expensive tour to take. It was also all those hours outside of the parks, and and a lot of what they do show on that tour, I already know because I've been there and done that. There is more on the Keys to the Kingdom tour besides just the backstage, which is part of the reason I'm looking forward to it. But, from what I've heard, though, people who really want to see the backstage areas and that kind of thing, that 7-hour tour is supposed to be fantastic. So, how many pets do I have? I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. Yes, Mickey Mouse is 90. He's old. Whew, and I'm like way behind on my chat. Let's see. Good afternoon. Hi, Eric. Good to see you. Aaron, 78 degrees in Florida. Gosh, you guys are almost ready for your jackets at that temperature. 76. If it gets down to about 70 in Florida, you will see people in Florida start pulling jackets out. And if it's 60s, they're parkas. It's hilarious. So, in fact, when I was there last January, there is a picture that I love with me with one of my other former photographer friends. She's still working at Disney. And I am standing there. It's probably like 45, 50 degrees. And I've got a t-shirt on, and she is bundled up in this heavy winter coat with a scarf wrapped around and everything. And I was comfortable, and she was freezing. It was hilarious. So, Debbie Newton, hi, good to see you again. Let's see, about the character stories. Ask Donald if Louis was still addicted to his phone. That's a good one. Things like that are great. Ask Goofy about Max and his dating life and stuff like that. Those are things that can be a lot of fun. So, let's see. Ask Captain Hook, who was, well, in fact, we were speaking of pets. Ginger, come here. Hey, my dog is out sitting on top of my chair, barking out the window. Would you come here, Goober? So since somebody wanted to ask about pets, come here. Come here. Ginger. No. Hey. Okay, sorry about that. Gotta go chase her down so that she be quiet. There. Ginger's a puggle, and she's a goofball. Okay. Super cold in Los Angeles, 53. That's okay. So let me go back to Jess's fun video. It's ask Captain Hook, who was of the Disney Dream Cruise and told Peter Pan. He questioned me for meeting Captain Hook. You can definitely have some fun with the characters and play off of them. It makes it much more entertaining. Okay, can you be a good puppy? Be a good puppy. Yeah, hop down. Okay. Darth Yoda, have fun in Silver Dollar City. Awesome. Let's see. Actually, in the upper 30s in Florida last week, which is really cold in Florida. In fact, when I was there last January, it was the coldest Florida had been in years. And there's actually pictures as I'm walking through the transit center where they had all the plants covered because it was actually below freezing. And there were a couple spots along I-Drive where they had black ice. And Florida never gets black ice. And people were freaking out over black ice. It was very amusing. In the Baltic states. Wow, Thomas, which Baltic state are you at? That's very cool. I got people watching from all over the world. That always amazes me that you can do this and be talking to people and remote. Well, I know you're not really remote. For you, I'm remote. I'm definitely more remote than a lot of people thinking about it. Because I'm in this town of 1,400 people that is over 10 miles away from any other town. I mean, it's almost 20 miles to our closest Walmart. And, for us in the States, Walmart is civilization. Although it's definitely a different form of civilization. And, well, anyways, we won't go there. From Sweden. Woo! And no, not Switzerland. No, Switzerland's actually in Europe itself. It's right over by Germany. Whereas Sweden is up on the peninsula up north. I know where Sweden is. It's good to see you, though, Andreas. That's very cool. How long would it take for you to mail my dog to me? Dog must be... Caitlin, my wife would probably tell you you are welcome to have our dog. She is an energetic goofball. Her nickname is Dum Dum. because she is a klutz. She will run to the couch to jump on and then completely miss and go head first into the side of the couch. And stuff like that. She's a nut. So, let's see. Estonia. Oh, that is so cool. Wow, Thomas. I'm happy to have you. For the U.S., I'm a history major, which means I did social studies, and I did a lot of geography, and that to me is just really cool. So, Portsmouth, United Kingdom. Wow, see, I got people from all over the world. Let's see. Glad that I... First time here in the stream. Good to see you, White Cats. Pittsburgh, Texas. Wow. For some reason, Eric, I don't know why, but I was thinking you were in Europe. Maybe it's just because of the spelling of your first name. So, I don't know. I do that a lot. I space out. I'm terrible with names, which is horrible sometimes. Anybody else bad with names? You know what's really bad is when you are a pastor, and the pastor of the church, the guy who is in charge, is supposed to know everybody's name and remember them, and I'm bad. And I mean, I had one lady that she had been at our church for like 2 months every week, and I still couldn't remember her name. Here's how bad I am with names. My best friend at college, his name is Dave. He and his wife got married 2 weeks before my wife and I was in their wedding. We have been like this ever since we met. And Dave actually, when I moved from California to Florida, Dave actually drove with me all the way across the country. And we were in New Mexico, I think. And at one point I looked at him and I went, "Hey, Bill, Mike, Fred, who are you?" It's sad. Can't even remember my best friend's name. So, California. What part of California? Connor, San Francisco. You're like 90 minutes away from where I grew up in Sacramento. So, that was home. Matthew Valle, if you want to come to Missouri and get my dog, my wife would probably let you. My daughter would not. She'd fight you. Lafayette, Louisiana. East coast of Canada. Very cool. Now, my family roots are actually from Quebec. So if you are from the east coast of Canada, I can actually trace my family to the families that settled Quebec City. And then my first ancestor with my name, Bernash, actually arrived in like 1690, I believe, or so, and married into those founders. 1690, 1700. So yes, I am originally French Canadian, and I can't say for nothing because that's the other part of Canada. And no, I can't speak French either. It's terrible. So, favorite hotel at Walt Disney World? I have not stayed at that very many of them, Josh, but probably the one we stayed at just a month ago. Animal Kingdom Lodge was really kind of our dream hotel where we really wanted to stay, and so that was exciting to be able to stay there. That would probably be our favorite one. Wilderness Lodge is also fantastic. The Grand Floridian, the Polynesian is wonderful as well. So let's see, New Zealand, Netherlands. Wow, all sorts of people. This is so cool. Ocala. I'm long as I don't forget my kid's or wife's name. Okay, Hershey Kisses. You would laugh. My son's name is Joseph. My brother-in-law's name is Jonathan. And my wife will constantly call all three of us by the wrong names. I'm Jonathan or Joseph or Joe or whoever it is. So she's constantly messing up our names. So I'm allowed to mess hers up every now and then. And my kids, I got so many nicknames for them, and that's part of the reason why. So no worries there. Let's see. Oh, Andreas, I'm happy to know that I am not the only minister with that name problem. That is wonderful. See you later, Matthew. Not what Canadians are about. So, good to see you, Julia. Let's see. Are cast members allowed to say Merry Christmas? Oh, that is actually a really good question. Ginger. My dog is like barking at snowflakes. We got a couple flurries, and so we were actually, when I was working there, we were suggested to say Happy Holidays. And the reason for that is actually a good reason, because Walt Disney World gets people from all around the world. And you get a lot of people who don't celebrate Christmas. You get a lot of people who will celebrate Hanukkah. You get a few people that celebrate Kwanzaa. That's really a distinctly American thing. You have a lot of people that will celebrate Ramadan, or other holidays. And so we were definitely encouraged to say Happy Holidays. And then if somebody returned a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or something specific, then we could return that. But because you don't know their background, you don't want to wish them something that might offend them. If I was at a grocery store and I had somebody that was wishing me Happy Ramadan, I would probably look at them a little weird because, okay, it's not a normal holiday for us. But at the same time, I would then assume that that is what they celebrate. And so I would then return the greeting to them. But many people get offended over that, which personally I think is a little silly. If somebody wishes me Happy Hanukkah, have a Happy Hanukkah. If they wish me Happy Kwanzaa, have a Happy Kwanzaa. That doesn't bother me, but other people really do get sensitive. The truth is, not everybody celebrates the same thing, and that's okay. But yes, Disney did have us wish Happy Holidays for that reason. And it's not so much trying to be PC, it's trying to be respectful of others, because you don't know what they celebrate. And since they might get offended, it just makes it easy. So, let's see. Family roots are Cherokee Indian and Brazilian. We used to think we had Cherokee Indian, and then we got DNA tested. No Indian. No Native American at all. I was really disappointed. So, let's see here. I gotta pull the glasses on to read everything. Hi, Carrie. Let's see. Feliz Natal. Ooh, now see, I think Feliz Navidad because I speak Spanish. So, do tell us all their names. Gailey, there is no way for me to tell you all my kids' nicknames because there's a ton of them. And if there were some that I shared, they would kill me. I like living. Let's see. Why did they change MGM Studios to Hollywood Studios? That's actually a good question, Ycats. When they first built MGM Studios, they actually had a contract with MGM to be able to use the characters and the name on the park. Well, this contract came up at the end of the contract, and MGM did not want to renew it, which I can understand because they really weren't making a whole lot off of it. So when MGM decided that we're not going to renew the contract, that meant that Disney could no longer use the name Disney MGM Studios on the park. It meant that they had to change the name at that point. That's basically taking a very long, complicated thing and shortening up. But that's pretty much why, is because MGM said, we're done sharing, we're done letting you use the name, find something else. It's also one of the reasons why they could not update the Great Movie Ride, because the contract with MGM really stipulated some of that, and there were things that they were not allowed to adjust because of that. So that's kind of part of that story. And again, there's a lot more to it, there and nuances and exceptions, but that tries to make something complicated simple for you. Let's see here. Can't even say Happy Holidays. You know what? If somebody gets upset over saying Happy Holidays, then that's not my problem. That's when, if somebody gets upset over you just wishing them a Happy Holiday, realize that that is not your issue. It is them having some personal issues, and you don't know what's going on. I had one person, okay, and I'm saying this very sensitively. I had a person I knew who had a family member that died 2 days before Christmas. And so for them, for many years, the holiday season was not a happy time because the death of that loved one really kind of messed it up. And they had a very hard time when people would wish them a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holiday because that was the frame of mind that they were in. And they would get upset. And they were actually a really nice person. And I know it bothered them even more when they got upset over it, but it was just the emotional reaction to that. So when you have somebody that gets upset over that, try to be sympathetic because you don't know what's going on in their lives or what's happening, and maybe they're dealing with something like that. But at the same time, I realize that if I say Happy Holidays and somebody gets upset over that, that it is something that they are dealing with in their world, not mine, and I'm not going to be offended or insulted because they got that way. So, hey Lenny, good to see you. Let's see. What are my thoughts on Marvel Land at DCA? I can't wait till they actually get it fully built out. It's overdue for Disney to have a Marvel Land. What was my favorite coaster at Cedar Point? Steel Vengeance. That's easy. Go back and check out the Trip Report videos on that, and that will tell you. How much Spanish do I know? I am semi-fluent. My wife is fully fluent. My wife teaches Spanish at high school. For me, it really depends. If I'm just having a quick conversation, I can throw out a couple things in Spanish. But I do not go back and forth very well. If I am in a place where people are speaking Spanish, it's like a switch, and I can, I'll be fine because I immerse, and I'll be able to be good that way. One story I like to tell, I was narrating on the train at Silver Dollar City, because conductors have a whole narration spiel. And the family that was sitting in front of me was like a dozen people or so, filling up 3 rows. I believe they were from Texas. And they were all speaking Spanish. And because I was hearing all of the Spanish, my mind switched, and I didn't even know it. And I started narrating a part of the train ride in Spanish. And then realized what I was doing and went, whoop, wait. And had to turn off my microphone and jokingly tell the family, okay, y'all got to stop that because you're messing me up and I'm speaking the wrong language. So if I am immersed, I will speak Spanish pretty well. But I am not to the point where I would call myself fluent. So, let's see. When are they changing it to Marvel Studios? They are not changing the whole park. They are just changing an area at Disney's California Adventure. They're taking out the Bugs Land area, and that's going to eventually become Marvel. In fact, the whole changing Tower of Terror over to Guardians of Galaxy was the first step in that. What is the worst ride currently in Disney? The Autopia or the Indy Speedway? Or I hate those cars. It is the one ride I really don't like, and as far as I'm concerned, if they got rid of them completely, that would be fine. They smell, they stink, they're rough, the lines are terrible. But at the same time, I also know that I am far from being universal in that opinion. There's a lot of kids that love those things. So, Pink Pearl Apple. It is not up to Disney necessarily whether Brazil shows up in the World Showcase. Brazil has to decide that they want to build a pavilion in the World Showcase. And then Brazil has to pay for it and provide the workers. Disney didn't just randomly build any of those pavilions. They are all sponsored by the countries they represent. And those countries help build them, help fund them, and help provide the workers. So if you want to see a Brazil pavilion at Epcot, then the ones you actually want to petition isn't Disney, it's Brazil, because that's where it's going to happen from. There are several countries I would like to see in the World Showcase, but yes, there's a lot of those kinds of things that have to happen. A good example, at one point there were rumors of talks with Israel about building a pavilion. And then those kind of collapsed, and the rumor was because Morocco had a fit. I don't know if there's any truth at all to that. That's probably a bunch of bunk, honestly. But the countries themselves have to be able to be wanting to sponsor it. So, let's see. Wish you could experience Alfie and Ralphie sometime in your life. Andreas, I do have videos that show the full train robbery, and that's the best way to experience Alfie and Ralphie. Who knows? You never know what might happen. Let's see. Candlelight Procession, yes. Absolutely fantastic. Watch for my video Tuesday, and Candlelight Procession is going to be mentioned. I will be talking about my 5 favorite parks to visit during the holidays, and that will definitely come up there. And I'm trying to skim down here. Wow, we're cruising along. I got like 10 minutes left. I thought we'd be here for like 30 minutes, and here I am going, whoa, we're at almost 50. Thank you, guys. I'm honestly blessed to have all of you here. I have fun with these things and just kind of seeing all the chat and everything. So it's so much fun. Candlelight Procession is one of those things now that it is such an institution at Disney that if they tried to take it out, I think there would be a revolt on their hands. It has really become kind of established as the thing at Epcot and at Disneyland, and has just grown. I love that last Tuesday they even live streamed it, which is amazing to me. But it's also funny because it is very overtly Christian. If you're not familiar with the Candlelight Processional, what it really is it is a telling of the Christmas story, the birth of Jesus, and everything about it, and it reads the scriptures, and they sing Christmas carols about it. They've got huge choirs and a symphony orchestra, and it's amazing. But it is most definitely Christian. It's the one blatantly Christian thing that you will see at Disney during Christmas. And every time we saw it, there were always people that as soon as they started reading the scriptures, you could just see them go, "What is this? I can't do this," and would get up and walk out because they weren't aware that that is what Christmas, because Christ is actually Christ, that Christ Mess, or the Mass, so it's the church celebration of Christ. It's amazing how many people don't realize that. So yes, there were always a few that got offended over it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And I love that every country pavilion around Epcot has their own holiday things and talks about their own holiday celebrations. Even those that don't celebrate Christmas, they talk about what they do celebrate, which is really good, really cool. Louisiana New Year package, Louisiana New Year package. Ooh, so it's two news. That will be very cool, Letty. And I am getting some more mail. I will have another live stream here, probably the Friday or Saturday before Christmas, where I open up mail again, because I get a bunch. Pink Pearl Apple, yes, I liked my card very much. It was cool. Did you see the last live stream where I opened it? It was in that. Let's see. No like Shona. Okay, I'll have to try and remember that one. Crazy Chill. Merry Christmas in Irish. That would be neat. Let's see. If I could choose anything in the world to add a ride from a Disney movie, what movie would I pick? Ooh, that's a good question, Jareen. I've had that one asked before, too, and I've always thought about it, and I haven't been able to come up with much, because most of what I would think of, they've already done, or it's already in process. Honestly, I'm going blank on what they haven't done. And the ones I think of, like 101 Dalmatians and Aristocats, are not ones I would think I could see a decent ride going. I love Robin Hood, but Robin Hood is not as well known now. It's actually kind of fallen out of favor, and so I don't think most people would like a Robin Hood ride or get it. That if you did a Robin Hood ride, I would definitely want Roger Miller to be able to do the voice, and he passed away years ago. That would be really hard for me to say. I don't know. I can think of one that I would like to see a ride, and they're actually building a ride in Tokyo, and that's Beauty and the Beast. And if you've seen any of the animatronics for the Tokyo, they just had a video come out a few days ago, and oh my goodness, these things are incredible. So Tokyo's going to get this fantastic Beauty and the Beast ride. That's the one, but there's other attractions at the park that are based on that. So I know, not much of an answer. Honestly, I'm not sure on that one. What is my dream car? One that runs wonderfully and doesn't constantly need repairs. I'm not that picky on cars. Okay, I can't tell you a little bit how weird I am. When I was in high school, my dream vehicle was actually a van conversion that had the couch in the back and a little mini refrigerator and a table where you could sit down and play cards. And I know, how many kids dream of a van conversion? Me. I'm a nerd. Let's see. Did I have salmon in the Norwegian Pavilion? Yes, we did. They had a little bit of it up for breakfast. So I did try it. Absolutely. My wife really liked it. I am not much of a fish person. It was okay for me, but do I miss Roger Rabbit in the parks? I never got to see Roger Rabbit in the parks. So I can't say I missed him because I've never seen him. I might have seen him at Disneyland as a kid, but I honestly don't remember. I barely remember the Roger Rabbit ride. So, a Mulan ride. Ooh, that would work, definitely. That could be actually kind of neat in China, but I don't know where they put it in China. There's not really any room behind it to expand out. So, always had awkward experiences with cast members. It's me, you guess. I wonder what kind of awkward experiences you've had, John, because most of us are pretty friendly, pretty nice. You know, I mean, I'm just awkward as a person naturally, but that's a long story. I won't go there, but if you see me in the parks, just realize I'm working hard to make sure you see the good side of me and not the awkward side. You know, and then if I end up with the spot where I'm going, well, then you know I hit the awkward point. So, Tangled could be interesting. I don't know if Tangled was a big enough hit to justify a ride. So, But yeah, I mean, we loved Tangled. We really did. I'm just I'm just trying to imagine if that was a big enough blockbuster to justify the ride, because that kind of seems to be Disney's thing now, is how much money. Emperor's New Groove, okay. I do have to admit, I would love to see that kind of a ride. That would be a total blast. Yeah, okay, Emperor's New Groove, of course, is Peru, so it wouldn't fit into the Mexico Pavilion. Disney might try to shove it in, but they're still talking about whether they're going to do Coco or not. We don't know. But Emperor's New Groove could end up being a neat ride. Like I said, then the question becomes, where do you put it? Where would it fit in? Maybe Adventureland, depending upon how they did it. That could possibly fit, but other than that, I'm not sure where they could put an Emperor's New Groove ride. Let's see, I'm trying to think even with Animal Kingdom, because you've got Asia, you've got Africa, you don't really have South America over to Animal Kingdom. But that could definitely be something to think about. So, Treasure Planet, my kids would totally agree with you on that. Treasure Planet has a very small but dedicated fan base. The problem is it's small, and if you notice, Disney almost kind of tries to pretend that Treasure Planet didn't exist. So I don't know that you will ever see anything from that. You don't even see the characters from the movie out anymore. It's rare for that. So, my favorite Christmas song. Actually, if you go to my SirWillow Facebook page, my favorite Christmas song is actually posted in video form there. I posted it up 2 days ago, I believe. So if you want to know what my favorite Christmas song is, you're going to have to go into the description, click on the link that takes you over to the SirWillow Facebook page, and look there. And while you're at it, join the group page as well. Hop on there. That one's open for everybody. Post your trip details and what you like about Disney and don't like and stuff like that, and participate. But yeah, so hey, don't you like how I tied in that commercial bit? So, and gonna close up here. I got like 3 minutes, so I'm trying to scan through and finish up these last couple questions. Subdivide the lands into smaller lands. Actually, no brainer. I almost would not want to do that. And Disneyland Paris really sold me on this. If you ever get a chance to go to Disneyland Paris, their lands are big. They're huge. And they're very immersive. Disneyland Paris's Frontierland was twice the size of Magic Kingdom's or Disneyland's. And it was fantastic to actually feel like you were there, where you could actually experience this land and not feel like that if you turned the corner, you were somewhere else. It was really neat that way, and I like the fact that you could wander in these lands a little bit and feel like you were exploring a new area. About the closest, I can think of really Magic Kingdom's new Fantasyland, because they've expanded it, you can do that some. That kind of gives you an idea of the scale of Disneyland Paris's lands. I would rather see fewer lands and bigger and more development to them. They really sold me on that because it was just so cool to feel like you were there. Let's see, but and I need my glasses again. Sorry, guys. Oh, Pink Parappa. No, you're not getting annoying. Don't worry about it. Let's see, small roller coaster based on Launchpad. That could be fun. DuckTales is popular enough. Yes, they could definitely do something with DuckTales. Not like I do anything with DuckTales. Park Tales, woo. Okay, never. How often do I still annoy my kids and wife with my stories? Not as much. Now they get to hear me talking about my channel, or, because we're going to Disney World again a couple times, I do annoy them with planning the next details of the next trip, and hey, maybe we'll do this, and maybe we'll do that. And so I annoy them with that, but they don't hear the stories as often anymore because I've been able to tell them. Lion King would actually be a cool ride. They do have the show at Animal Kingdom, so I think they've kind of put that in. But yeah, Lion King could definitely be a very cool ride to do. So, and with that, folks, thank you so much for joining me. I'm honestly, I didn't know how many people would show up, so this has been kind of fun, kind of cool, especially for not really a planned live stream. Like I said, I will definitely have another live stream coming up. I want to make sure I get the date right here. I believe... Look for it probably on the 22nd if I don't have anything else come up. So it'll be 21st or 22nd. I will post an announcement on my Facebook page. I will also make sure that I set the date on the live stream feed on YouTube. So that way, if you go to my homepage, once I set the date, you'll be able to see when it is. But it'll be 21st or 22nd, so in 2 weeks or so. And at that point, I will be opening up the rest of my mail and covering a few more announcements and some things like that. So that would be really cool. So I hope all of you can join me then. If you do want to send something, I love mail. The address is down in the description. A link to my Patreon page is there, which that's something I didn't mention. If you want to get a postcard from me, from the Magic Kingdom in February, all you have to do is sign on to Patreon. $1 a month before January 15th, and I'll send you a postcard from Magic Kingdom, mailed right to you, written from my hand, stamped Disney, so you can do that. Again, $1 a month, and basically that is to cover the cost of the postcard and the stamp, because those silly postcards are $1.50 now. But you can do that, sign on that way, and all the script details are in there, and hey, it even gets you a few other perks as well. Depending upon the level you sign up, you'll get some occasional early previews of videos, you'll get to hear what's coming up, you'll get some input, you'll get a behind-the-scenes video, and there's a bunch of other stuff there as well. So check that out. There's merchandise for sale if you need a Christmas present. Look for the merchandise link down below as well. So thank you so much. Think you know my favorite song. Like I said, it's on the Facebook page. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining on. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm blown away anytime I get people joining me, so I appreciate it. Hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic day, and have a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, or whatever else you may celebrate. God bless. If you want to know whenever I have a new video out, well, hey, make sure you hit that button right there and subscribe. If you want to see another video right now, well, I've got a great one right here for you. And if you want to be like these wonderful people here and help support me financially on Patreon, well, check out that link right there and it'll take you to it. Thanks so much, and God bless.